on your best behavior. Be your sweetest self. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, my place, the apartment is quiet. Outside, I don't know, a lot of people are coming home from work, leaving school. It's probably too late for that, but we'll just see how it goes. I think it'll be okay, because the closet is a good place to film with lots of buffer, which is why we are often here lately. And I should tell you, I'm not really sure what this video is going to be. I know what I want to talk about. I don't know what I'll title it. I want to talk about creativity, the creative act, magic, synchronicity, perhaps, books, which is why I'm gesturing over here, books, just a few books, annotations, I don't know. So bear with me. There's a lot I want to say, but I may meander, and I don't know how to describe it to you ahead of time. It's not very algorithm friendly, but also screw the algorithm. Always. But especially lately, I've felt very bored by it. Okay. These earrings are from my ex. This necklace is from me to me. These rings are also from me to me. And then these rings are from my partner. I have been reading a good book lately. I almost called it a very good book. And I do think it's very good. Although the prose is quite casual, pretty chatty. It's well edited. The sentences are well constructed. She uses some really interesting words, really interesting vocabulary, includes some really interesting research, but still the language feels very casual to me. I'm not sure why. Regardless, it's good. It's quite good. It's called Magic Maker. The Enchanted Path to Creativity. musicians about their musical practice, and what is so magical about music. Again, this is not the scene I was looking for. I didn't find the scene I was looking for. But I saw this and I thought it would be a good supplement to my partner's birthday gift, which is many months away. But my partner plays music, and a couple of the people included in this scene are people that he is aware of and enjoys. It's like a musician or two, maybe someone who made a pedal. I don't know, it's too dim in here for me to read the names, but I was like, I'm gonna pick that up for him. Well, I couldn't get it at my local bookstore, so I looked up where I could get it, and I was able to get it from this witchy shop in New York that I now forget the name of. And I just took a little look at the other books they had to offer, the other books they had in stock on their shelves, and because I didn't need free shipping, but I was like, I wouldn't not get free shipping. I wouldn't not like that. So in browsing their catalog, I found this. I hadn't heard of it before. It's called Magic Maker by Pam Grossman. She is a witch, and this book is about incorporating magic into your creative practice. I feel I should say I don't consider myself a witch. I don't consider myself a witch, although I do read tarot very often, very regularly, sometimes for friends, always for myself, sometimes for money. I read a lot of tarot, but I don't consider myself a witch. But I'm amenable to witchy musings, and I've really enjoyed this book. Again, the language is very casual, very approachable, not super elevated in a way, but then at the same time, it's so informative, and I feel like since picking this book up, I have had a million ideas for how to incorporate some of these lessons into my own creative practice. She talks about how to center and ground your energy, different ways to generate inspiration, different kinds of, she uses this loosely, like demons, to banish essentially like the demon of procrastination, the demon of perfection, the demon of scarcity, and throughout she incorporates stories and quotes from well-known artists who have accessed their creativity perspective on experimentation and pushing yourself so that you don't do the same thing each time. Different games of chance and randomization that certain writers have used. Essentially exquisite corpse games. Which, if you don't know, those are just ways to randomize inputs and or create something collaboratively with each person contributing only certain pieces of the project, of the poem or the drawing or what have you. Anyway, this book is like a treasure trove of that, of all these artists who I admire: Patti Smith, PJ Harvey, David Bowie, David Lynch. Creating from such powerful intention in their own ways, with their own very private, sometimes strange methods. So I've just been so into this book. There's some synchronicity with it too. I had not heard of her before, Pam Grossman, but she talks about how she edited a tarot guidebook. She edited it. One oracle, actually. She edited the Mother Witch Oracle guidebook, which I own, and she also wrote the guidebook to L'Étoile Cachée, which is a tarot that I own that I'm going to show you very, very soon. And you know, that's just not something I hadn't put it together. I hadn't connected her name to anything. Something else really synchronistic happened the other day. Oh, I know. Someone sent me, what is it called? Song to the Siren. No article. There's no article, especially not a definite article. Someone sent me Song to the Siren by Tim Buckley, who was Jeff Buckley's father. And I listened to it, and it was so beautiful. It's this song of really beautiful longing, and I saw a cover of it by this Mortal Coil. So I clicked on that, and I watched this video, a cover of Song to the Siren by this Mortal Coil. And it's so 80s, the hair, the music video, lots of like crossfade, fog machine stuff going on. It's so eerie and so beautiful. But I don't know anything about this Mortal Coil, or I didn't. So then I've also been listening to a lot of the Cocteau Twins lately, and I was thinking I would buy one of their albums soon, and I was reading an article about their discography, and the guy who wrote this little article mentioned their cover of Song to the Siren, and I was like, wait, what? This Mortal Coil was like a collaborative kind of project featuring artists from this one label that the Cocteau Twins were a part of. So the guitarist and the singer on that song by this Mortal Coil are the guitarist and the singer of the Cocteau Twins. So it's not important, but it was just like a really nice synchronicity, or like densely occurring common threads sort of thing, like this concentration of Cocteau so important. Taking time to enjoy art, to play games, to create is so important. It is so human and such a vital part of being human. And no matter what the state of the world is, art is necessary, and art is meaningful. It's meaningful. It's a necessary part of life for everyone. Art and play. I feel that really strongly. I met someone recently who was making a game, trying to make a game and distribute it into the world, and he was like, and I know, like, you know, who needs that right now? So much other stuff is going on. And my partner and I were like, no, like, it's so important. Play is so important. Games are so important. Art is so important. We need it. So, we need your art also. If you've been stalling, if you've been feeling like it's not important, this is just a little reminder that it is like important beyond words. So then I was just like, this video is plenty long, but I'm just gonna show you a few of my favorite books on creativity. Magic Maker, I'm definitely gonna hang on to. I've also read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, which I like. When I read this back in the day, it blew me away. And this is my partner's copy, actually. One thing that I still think about from this is that when you're having trouble connecting to your creative wellspring, like your ideas, your inspiration, sometimes it helps to dress for the occasion, like dress up, to put yourself in a different frame of mind and to invite the project to seek you out, to bring that energy in, to invite that energy in. You really can change your frame of mind by getting dressed, putting on an outfit that's just like a touch special, just a touch special. I've done this, and every time I do it, I feel that it helps. Just looking like a little nicer than usual. And then working on your project, it brings a totally different energy to it. It's like you bring more in, you attract more in. If nothing else, it's a good way to shake things up. So that's also a pretty good book. Then my favorite book on creativity of all time, I am obsessed with this book. And this is the perfect counterexample where, not to compare these books, they all have something to offer. I mean, certainly I'm comparing them, but I mean, they're all worthy. They're all worth reading. But I'll say this one, the language is elevated. It's so crystal clear, distilled, but still warm and inviting. It reads like, it's just like a truth bomb, truth bomb, truth bomb. It's so good. And that, probably no surprise to you, is The Creative Act by Rubin. My copy of this is so heavily annotated. It's like notes in the margins. Let's see system in here, and the language is elevated because it's distilled, but it is not pretentious. It is so authentic and invites you into the conversation. It's just unreal. It's so good. Then, I brought this. This is not a book on creativity. I think I brought it because I was just like, if I get talking about annotating books, then I should show you this one, because this one has some really strange annotations in it. Like, for the Five of Pentacles, it's Tarot for Change. Five of Pentacles, we got some doodly framing. And there's another page in here where I blacked a bunch of things out. It's quite intense. Ah yes, the Knight of Swords. Where, yeah, this is what this page looks like now. It says stay the course, and this says focus on breath or one body part. And it's a little warped, like a little textured from all the pen marks I made here. Anyway, the books I really love, I annotate heavily, draw in their, I don't know, they almost feel like animate to me. And then finally,